Hello, this is Allie with the Perception Trainers, author of The Perception Diet, and today I want to talk about evil. I want to talk about if evil actually exists. I want to talk about maybe a new way of looking at evil that might help make you feel better in your life. And I think more or less my intention with this video is simply to offer a different perspective that might make you feel safer in your life if you are someone that really does believe that evil exists and find yourself being afraid of it. Okay, so to start this video, I want to say that, I come from, like if you've watched this channel or whatever, you know that I was born and raised Christian, and that means that I was born and raised with the idea of evil kind of drilled into my mind, right? Like Satan was a real, ever-present threat to my everything. It was he or it or the presence of evil was a real, ever-present threat to my survival in life, and also to my, afterlife life. And the thinking and the idea behind, especially kind of the Christian, Judeo-Christian idea of Satan, is that, there is this ever-present evil force that is out there, and it is against you, and it's trying to hurt you, and it's trying to harm you, and maybe it makes bad things happen to you in your life, or there's some sort of punishment system that goes on with evil, and it's this ever-pervasive threat to your security as a good person, to your security as a happy person, to your security just in life in general, like living a good life, and then your security as someone who's going to enjoy a fruitful paradise afterlife. Okay, so that's kind of one stance looking at evil, right? So looking at evil as in a more kind of religious sense. And then there's another kind of way of looking at evil, which is just to kind of look around the world and say, people are killing each other, people are raping, there's, just countless atrocities that happen on a daily basis that could very easily be looked at as evil and bad and dark and scary and rotten, right? And a lot of the time too, it's just, especially if you're an empathetic person or just a person in general who looks at the tragedies of the world, and it's easy to look at people and situations and say, that's an evil person, that's a bad person, that is an example of darkness. And so basically what I'm saying here is that both of these perspectives take evil to be a thing in and of itself, right? That evil is an entity that exists, and it's like you can either be good or be bad. Like evil is a thing. And then kind of a third way of looking at this is there are a lot of people out there, especially in the spiritual communities, who believe in evil spirits or ill-intended spiritual experiences, and that you can have possession or evil spirits possessing your body or possessing your mind or taking over your life or taking over your house and that kind of thing, right? And I will say too that when I was dealing with my eating disorder, there were a lot of people that believed that it was like a possession, it was anorexia was a being that had come and was animating me, right? And so there's kind of all those three perspectives of evil, and either way, any of the ways that you look at evil, it tends to be painful to look at it like that, right? To look at evil like it's a thing, like it's a real, true, quantifiable presence or energy or spirit or that it's real is really what tends to scare us, right? So then, because we believe that evil is a thing, we believe that we are at risk of being, like, that we are threatened by it, right? That evil could come on us, that someone could be evil towards us, that evil spirits could possess us or come into our house or whatever, make our lives bad, that we are vulnerable to evil. Okay, so, and this kind of thinking then gets us into a lot of superstition, as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of, ritualistic behaviors, ritualistic thoughts, like things that we do to try and ward off evil, this presence that is a thing in and of itself, and we're trying to protect ourselves from it, or not become evil ourselves. We are afraid of being evil. We are afraid of the evil people. We are afraid of the evil we see in the world. So here is what I would like to offer as a reframe on that. And I just want to offer this so that you can sit with it, think about it, and maybe allow it to make you feel a lot better if evil or even just darkness or heaviness or any of these things feel really real to you in your life, okay? The true name for evil, the true name for darkness, the true reality of the darkness and evil and all of this that we see in the world and that we see in our minds and all this is really just pure and simple lack of awareness. Evil is not a thing in and of itself, okay? Human beings are not evil. Human beings are not bad. The world is not evil. The world is not bad. There is no dark force, okay? All that we have are beings that lack awareness of the light. Because the truth is, right, like when we say you can't fight darkness with darkness, you can't fight darkness, you cannot fight the light with darkness, it's because darkness is simply the absence of the light. It's not a thing in and of itself. You can't turn on a dark switch. You cannot get rid of the light with darkness. You see what I'm saying? Light is, and we can block the light or we can let the light flow. But those are the only two states. There's no actual quantifiable thing as darkness, right? You've never heard the term, that's traveling at the speed of darkness, right? Because that's not a thing, because darkness isn't a thing. It's not a thing. It's not a thing in and of itself. It is not an actual entity. It's not something we can measure. It's not something we can weigh. It is not quantifiable. It is simply an absence, okay? And understanding that everything that we humans project out into the world and project out into our realities and project onto ourselves and to other people, again, is coming from our own understanding, right? So the perception of evil, the perception of bad, the perception of wrong, the perception of Satan, the perception of darkness is coming from a lack of awareness. It's coming from a deficiency state in our own understanding of what's going on. All right? So for instance, the person who commits murder, and we look at them and we say like, wow, that's like an evil act. You took someone's life, right? To most people, we have a reverence for life, right? We have this underlying natural, inborn sense about us that to take someone's own life is not something that we want to do, right? It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel, and in fact, most people are kind of repulsed by that idea, you see? And that comes from having an awareness of the preciousness of life. That comes from an awareness that everybody is not here to serve you. And so when they don't live up to your expectation of what your reality should be, that it's not about just ending them because they are a part of your play, and if they don't play it right, you should just execute them. You see what I'm saying? Generally speaking, we have these kind of fundamental inborn understandings that everyone else has the right to be here, everyone else has the right to their reality and to their life and to do things that are not in alignment with what you want them to do, and that it's not your right to take the life of someone else, right? And so then when we see other people doing that, it's very easy for us to say like, wow, okay, that's evil, that's bad, that's not what we're supposed to do, that's wrong, that's evil, da da da, right? What is actually going on is in that person that committed murder, they have a lack of awareness. There is a dark spot. There is a lack of light in their psyche. There's a lack of light in their awareness, which caused them to take an action that appears evil, but is really just due to lack of awareness, right? They were not aware, like truly aware of the benefit of that human being. They were not truly aware of the reverence of life. They were not truly connected to the truth of the miracle of life and all of this, right? That many of us just simply take for granted. And they may have cognitively, right? We may look at them and say, well, no, they did know, right? Like they are living a life just like the rest of us. They are living, we're all walking on this planet together. Of course they know that life is important. But the thing is, we can act in a lot of ways. Humans can behave like we understand, right? We can monkey see, monkey do. But if we don't have a deep internal awareness of something, we're not going to behave in a way that aligns with that deep internal awareness, no matter what the rules are, right? Like, so we place laws on people and we place rules and societies and we try and organize people and we try and get them to live in alignment with these truths and these awarenesses. But like, murder still happens, rape still happens, these things still happen because the people that are committing these crimes genuinely lack a fundamental understanding, okay? It is a lack of awareness. So, how does this apply to you in your world? First thing, when you are perceiving evil in your world, when you are perceiving, like in your actual physical reality, not like watching the news and seeing it, not like, it's out there, you see that people are killing each other and raping each other and think terrible things are happening to the land and da-da-da-da. I don't mean that. I mean like in your actual life, like you feel like you are evil or someone in your reality is evil or something like this. Look at it like, okay, evil is not a thing in and of itself. It is a genuine lack of awareness of what is, of life, of light, okay? Because again, light is the only thing that actually exists. So you and everything you are made up of is only light, right? But if you perceive evil in yourself, you perceive deficiency in yourself, you have any part of yourself that you do not fully understand to be the light, you are going to perceive darkness in your world. You are going to perceive evil in your reality. You are going to project that because we are seeing ourselves in our reality every day, okay? So, and especially, the last thing that I'll say about this is oftentimes we humans are projecting our feeling of lack of power, and we call that evil, right? We call the things in our reality that we feel like we can't control, like the bad things that happen to us or the bad things that people do to us or the whatever, the powerlessness that we feel in our lives, we often project that as evil, right? They are a bad person for taking advantage of me. They are a bad person for doing what they did to me. They are an evil corporation. They are bad and evil, da 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 da. really what we're saying is, I sense a lack of light and I feel powerless to that lack of light. And so I'm just going to label it as evil and judge it, and then it puts it out of my cognitive dissonance with feeling so out of control and not really knowing what to do with what we're seeing. Okay? So when you perceive evil in your world, first things first, take it and look at it and say, okay, where is the lack of awareness here? The lack of awareness may be in them, it may be in you, but either way, there's a lack of awareness. Okay? Second thing is to really look at, are you projecting a lack of power, a feeling of lack of power onto something? Like, for instance, if you're sensing that there's evil spirits in the room, could that simply be that you have some internal fear inside yourself, right, about who you are and what the world is that you don't know how to deal with, and so it's being projected, right? It's something out there because it makes it feel more tangible. It makes it feel more reasonable. It makes it feel more like you can deal with it. Okay, so what I'm going to say here is this. When you truly see inside of yourself, when you have loved every ounce of everything that you are, and you have fully committed to the self-love process to the point that you've taken it to the nth degree, right? To the complete extreme, where there is nothing in you that you do not love and accept and know as the light, you will not perceive darkness in the world. You will still see people murdering, you will still see people raping, you will still see all these things, but you will no longer perceive it as evil or darkness, because you will know that that's not what it is, right? You will have traversed through the shadows inside yourself and brought light to them so often and so much that you will understand that anybody else that's acting like that, anybody else that's living like that, anything else that is doing anything like that is not evil, is simply perceiving themselves as something they are not. Sorry about that, my alarm went off. Right? They are simply perceiving themselves as something they are not. And so evil acts come from a lack of awareness of who you are, the light. They come from perceiving negative, bad, darkness things inside yourself, projecting them out, and then acting on that projection, right? So they act on that projection by murdering somebody. You're the source, I'm going to kill you, right? Or we project it in blaming other people and other things and other spirits as being evil, right? But it's all our own darkness. It's our own darkness that we're seeing and projecting out. So look inside yourself. Where is the lack of awareness? Where are the parts of you that you have deemed evil, wrong, bad, shouldn't be? And can you love those bits back into light? And I promise you that as you do this, the evil that you see and the threat that you feel from that evil will decrease and decrease and decrease and decrease, because you will be increasing your power, right? You are not powerless against something that doesn't exist. You have never been powerless against something that doesn't exist. Evil is simply us, humans, looking at ourselves, seeing deficiency, and projecting it outwards. So, bring awareness, bring love and light to every part of yourself, and evil won't exist, because it doesn't. It's just the light or the lack of the light. Alright? So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I love hearing from you. Find me on Facebook, Perception Trainers, Instagram, ally_Perception Trainers, Patreon. I would love to have you in the Patreon group. We meet 3 times a month, and I'll see you in the next video.